Here's some parting shots, guys. Okay, last night, Kendall Jenner fell asleep in her car while all her sisters partied without her. She got so mad she got all half-dressed for nothing. Is that weird? A study showed that streaming a season of TV shows on Netflix produces pollution. Just another reason to watch us, because every fourth joke is recycled. Isn't that nice? We're doing our part. Lori Loughlin's daughter, Olivia Jade, was seen partying with Kendall and Kylie in LA. No word yet on what they were celebrating, probably having lives free of fear and discomfort. And absolutely no problem. Tonight will be the first supermoon of the year. It's when a full moon gets the closest it can to the Earth. But the moon canceled because of the coronavirus. Oh. The moon said, you guys, you know I love Earth. You know it. And it's just, I'm probably being paranoid, but I just feel itchy about it. But I'm still right here. You can see me. Tide's gonna go in and out. And finally, a 100-year-old Chinese man is recovered from the coronavirus, and that's great. The man says he can't wait to get back to lying in bed all day. A new company is selling cologne for dogs. In other news, an incurable worldwide pandemic. We're still making time to make cologne. That was the joke. Madonna has canceled the last leg of her tour due to the corona. Predictable, because she did the same thing during the smallpox outbreak of 1823. I knew she would. Salvador Dali's artwork entitled Divine was discovered in a thrift shop, of all things. The person who dropped it off was shocked to find out it wasn't the giant piece of shit she thought it was. It was leaning on an ironing board. Not that thing. And finally, Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune are filming without an audience, as Chris told us earlier. Producers want to make sure that people who wait 3 hours to watch a game show are only dead on the inside. So, Harvey Weinstein got 23 years in prison, but his lawyers say he will die before serving 5. The prisoners were like, yeah, most of us have the under on that. His lawyers tried to put a positive spin on it. They said, 23, that's Michael Jordan's number. That's cool. The hospital ward staffed by robots opened in Wuhan to protect medics. Everyone's favorite nurse is C3P in this cup. I kind of that one up, but you get it, you get it. That one came fast, Chris. I'm nervous because Chris is here. Rob Gronkowski is in negotiations to join the WWE. In fact, right now he's negotiating for less words in the contract. Fingers crossed on that one. Harvard told students that they have to move out by Sunday due to the coronavirus. Students responded by asking the virus if they knew who their father was.
Solid.
And finally, a hoax online falsely claimed that Harry Potter star Daniel Radcliffe has the coronavirus. He says it's not true. He admits that he did have Hogwarts once, and that was when he was a kid. The governor of California passed legislation banning gatherings of over 250 people. 1, 2, 3. So good news, folks. You can still go see Nick Swartzen. All right. Burn! The show Riverdale shut down production after a team member tested positive. Fortunately, 2 others were spared when the virus couldn't decide between Betty and Veronica. That's the problem Archie had, too. You know?
Yeah, right.
You get it. Production on the 41st season of Survivor has been pushed, mostly because the whole world has turned into a season of Survivor.
Yeah.
Too true, stings. And finally, a new study from the Center of Ecological Research found that snakes are at danger of going extinct. Scientists around the world were like, oh, let's drop everything and deal with that. We have to have more snakes everywhere.